Good afternoon.
Yo,
Afternoon, y'all.
what's up, y'all?
Happy Sunday.
Hey, good afternoon, fam. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and get started. I hope everybody had a great weekend. Just hop right into things. By watching or reading this, you're saying you understand the following. I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not trading advice. The session is solely for educational purposes. There are significant financial risks associated with options trading, and I'm not liable for your wins or losses in the market if you decide to act on this information. Let's just jump right into things. So on Friday, let's see what options flow looked like on Friday. Friday, we ended with the top call options flow going into MSTR, Tesla, Nvidia, Netflix, Apple. On the put side, going into Oracle, Palo Alto, SLV, TLT, and GDX. Interesting. Interesting. All right. For the week, it was MU, NEM, MSTR, CG, Netflix. On the put side, Apple, NVIDIA, Amazon, Google, and APA. 1 second. Notes. All right, so profit summary. So, every week we just update the profits from the week before to see how we are on course for the year. So from January 2nd through April the 25th, one contract per trade alert delivered a net profit of 27K. So $27,000, right? For those who are following my trades, the ones that aren't getting off course because they made a few dollars and start blowing their accounts up because they getting off course. You know what I'm saying? If you just follow the process from January the 2nd to now, buying just one contract per trade alert, you may not have the whole 27K because you may not hold the entire time or whatever, but you would have a pretty penny by now. You know what I'm saying? So, a part of this meeting, we got to talk about just really sticking to the process and staying on course, man, and just being able to follow those process. Because listen, if you can make a few dollars in the group, that's fine. But if you can follow the process, you can make a lot more money. So, so if you're on if you basically the average profit per trade is 192% for ROI of 10,000%, 10.8K percent for the $250 membership and 15.4K percent on the 175 membership. We burning this market down. So no reason to do anything else but follow the process. These are profits for every single month. We cleared thousands of dollars for every single month this year. So, for those who's this is their first time attending one of our meetings, look, for January, 46K, yeah, 4,600, sorry. One contract per trade alert. February, $8,400, one contract per trade alert. March, 6,100, one contract per trade alert. And right now in April, 7.2K, one contract per trade alert. And for the last week that we just passed, $1,700, one contract per trade alert. So that's all you have to do. So all of it going off and doing all of these other things and blowing up these accounts because you don't have the discipline to sit still and wait. Because think about it like this. I didn't call out a lot of trades last week, right? But it was enough for us to make money. You don't have to trade every day. Look at trading like I say this all the time. Look at trading like traveling or going into shark infested waters to get food to feed your family. So if I can go in there one time with a net and get a whole bunch of fish to last my family for the week or for the month, would I risk going in there every day just to get one fish? when I know I can get eaten by a shark each time, it's no point. That means you probably have a gambling gene that you need to control, and you got to get some discipline, or you're gonna blow your account. But if you're here to fire your job like I did 5 years ago, and you want to just make some extra money so you can go on vacation whenever you want, then you should be able to stick to this process. If I'm not trading that day, then you don't need to trade that day. If you're growing your account and you're new to this and you're trying to really make something of your trading journey, you're really trying to grow that bag for real. If that's what you're really here to do, then follow the process. I don't have to alert a trade every single day. And if you miss a trade, wait for the next trade. Don't jump in, follow a trade. I mean, you can ask questions like shout out to Miss Marilyn. She'll ask a question like, is it too late to get in this trade, or I missed this trade? Can I do this? Now, and those types of questions the day after or something, just to kind of figure out what's going on, that's fine. But just be careful in this market. You know what I'm saying? And again, there are some snipers in the community that may be able to help guide you a step further and help you make more money. But I'm saying, like, as far if you just stick to this process, you'll make a lot more money. So if you aren't up at least $20,000 on the year in your bank account right now, on your in your brokerage account, sorry, right now, at least $20,000, then you need to follow this process so you can make some money, so you can have some cash flow. That's what you should be doing. All of that. Think about it. If you lost $10,000 this week, but ended the week with a $3,000 profit, well, not a profit, but you had a $3,000 win at the end of the week, but you lost $7,000 over the course of the week. That's not a profit. That's a net loss. You got to remember those losses too. You may have a win at the end of the week, but you have a net loss. You know what I'm saying? We ended the week with a net profit of $1,700 for those who buy one contract. Now, listen, everybody's bank account and everybody's cash flow is a little different. So some of you may actually have enough money to buy more. You know what I mean? To say, you know what? I'm gonna buy more contracts. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do that. That's fine. But follow the process, because like I said, if you just these profits are calculated off of one contract per trade alert, right? So you don't have to buy a lot of contracts. You don't have to risk a lot of money to make money here, right? So, but I'm just going over this because I know a lot of people just join, and we get a lot of DMs about different things. But I'm just saying, you gotta just follow this process. You will make the money. The instant gratification stuff is fine, but in the long run, it doesn't pay off. Like I said, just look at your don't think about who you we judge ourselves by who we think we are, who we think we can be, what we're capable of, and we judge others by what they've actually done. Think about what you've actually done and say, okay, well, should I be following this process, or should I get over myself and follow that process? You know what I'm saying? So let's make this money. Look, we only 4 months in this year. We got a long way to go for the rest of the year. We can still make a whole lot more money. That's what the plan is, to blast through the profits of last year, and we on course to do just that, right? We already almost halfway through last year's profits. So just keep following along, and let's make this money together. But cheers to everybody who's following the process and whose accounts are up right now, because we are on a roll for 2025. Let's keep it moving. Now, oh yeah, Tippers picks. I updated this one too. So yeah, so this is our Tippers picks. So again, there are people in here who make a lot of money, and sometimes they send me tips or whatever. They make a lot of money, or they just we killed the trade so hard and they just want to do that, and they do that. So we got something called the Tippers Picks over here, and as you can see, just over for the month of October, for April alone, the Tippers Picks one contract per trade alert already at 32K, 32.5K just for this 1 month. So just been burning it down. So that's just what we do, man. It is what it is. But yeah, shout out to the Tippers Picks, the people in the Tippers Picks also. But yeah, man, let's just go ahead and move on. Market talk, market talk. So I really led into market talk. The things that I really wanted to talk about is just terms of just following the process and stuff like that. Because what I do see, I'll tell y'all what I do see a lot of, and again, this is something that we can work on. Man, y'all be getting out of my trades too early, and y'all don't be asking no questions, and I got a problem.
Goodness. Look, I'm sorry because I'm not, and I'm sorry to cut you off, Antoine,
No,
but
you good.
like that, it to me, that's the part that really boggles my mind, because you call out phenomenal trades. You know, you see the average on the percentage, and I don't be seeing those percentages, but on a few people. And those are the people who are following the process. So it's just but then I see people like, oh, look at what I did. I got this trade on my own, and it's nothing wrong with trading on your own, but I don't feel that a lot of people that I see that are trading on their own are really to that level yet to be trying to do that. So I feel, and I'm just coming from somebody, and I want anybody on this call who doesn't know, I started trading with Antoine in 2021. I knew nothing about the stock market. I knew nothing about any of this. And I followed trades for years and said, I want to build my account. I want to be able to really understand what this is about and really know how to capitalize and make money on my own at some point. But right now, I want to capitalize off of this person who is in the group showing us what to do and taking his trades and maximizing the amount of money that I can make on those trades, because I know that we can do that. And I try to be an example to the group to show you that these trades can make a lot of money. We'll go into a trade, and I can give an example. Meta and QQQ are two trades that really stuck out to me for for a lot of new people who I see in the community, where I'm like, okay, if you were following what Antoine said, these trades went north of 300%. Why is it that you're getting out at 100% or less? Like, then I hear a lot of these,
Shout out to
oh,
Taylor.
well, huh?
I said, shout out to Taylor.
Oh, big shout outs to Taylor, because my girl said the level and she held till the level. That's what snipers do. That's what you see Strat Ops do. That's what you see Jason do. Like, if there's a level, we following the price action to that level. We're not getting out. We're not getting shook out the trade. We're not letting retest shake us out. We're not doing none of that.
Right.
We holding on for that, because that's what the price action is giving us. But everybody will start giving these excuses of, oh, well, I got in late, or I had to work, or I honestly, the work thing, I really can't take to the work thing, because I work full time. I run a clinic. I got 4 kids. I have a huge amounts of responsibility, but that does not stop me from being disciplined to follow through, because that's what's going to make your trades, when you're actually executing real good trades by yourself, that discipline that you learned from following that process consistently for a large amount of time, or and I'm not even going to say for a long. I'm not telling nobody to be in here 3 years and be like, I'm not taking anything but Antoine's trades. I'm not telling you to do that. What I'm telling you to do is build up your account, so that you not feeling crazy when you do jump into those trades that we don't hear anything about, that you took a loss because you were jumping in and out of stuff and you're not following how this process works. And it's nothing wrong. Once again, it's nothing wrong with, if you see a setup and you're like, okay, I believe in this setup, that I'm going to take this trade. But a lot of times I don't see that. And I can tell, because I know how to trade, and I can look at your contract and I can see you jumped in because you saw something running and you made a couple dollars, and that was it. You didn't maximize what that trade could do. So I just feel like people need to stick to these Antoine trades and maximize those. I want to see you say to yourself, for yourself, to say, look, I'm going to follow through with this trade. If the level is 471, I need to hold on to this 471. I need to look at this level and say, this is where it's going based on X, Y, and Z, because I'm not telling you to blindly do anything. I'm telling you to, if it closes over the previous level that was resistance and that's now support, and we have established that, and we know this is the next level, then I want you to follow through. Stop jumping out the trade. And then when you see somebody else profit, now you jumping into something else because you want to now make that extra money that you could have made if you just stayed in that trade. And it's going to make you a better trader. It's not, none of this is to lessen anybody or dim anybody's light. Antoine gonna shout everybody out. Y'all see, I will shout anybody out when I see you making money. But what I don't do, I look at everything though. And I've been taught by somebody who's trained me on how to identify these things. So I'm like, oh, he just was jumping in, or she just jumped in there trying to do whatever. She doing anything. That's what I that's exactly what I say to myself. Oh, she doing anything, or he doing anything. Instead of, oh, I saw this was what the level was, and I held to this and I made that money. Like understanding that and really taking that in is going to make you a better trader. And you don't have to prove anything to anybody in this group. It took me years to be where I am today, and I'm happy for that whole journey, because now I can maximize a trade. I know exactly how to do it. I know when to jump in. I can see when the chart is setting up. That's what you're looking for. You don't want to be like, oh, I see it running, so now I'm jumping in it. You want to be able to see the setup and say, look, I'm getting ready to swing this, or I'm getting ready to do that. That comes with time. That doesn't come with a one-on-one. I can tell you that right now. A one-on-one is going to give you the foundations, and you can take multiple ones and learn different things. But being able to identify certain things, that takes time. That's going to take discipline. And you're not going to be disciplined when you're trying to prove something. When you humble yourself, that's when you're going to get the discipline. That's when you're going to start taking it in, and you're going to start seeing those things that you don't see now. But that was all. I'm sorry I cut you off, Antoine.
No,
But
it's okay.
but
It's all
that
good.
sizzled my spirit a little bit, because it just be driving me crazy.
Yeah, because like I said, don't get me wrong. I like to feed the team, right? When, especially everybody else, I see new members join. I want to alert more trades, stuff like that. I do that a lot. That's fine. But it'd be like you said, everybody, they want more because they didn't get enough, because they didn't hold, but they didn't ask any questions either. They didn't understand. I mean, I know someone asked a question about levels, and they got all of the information that they needed, they got all of that information they needed the other day. I mean, Taylor came out there with the chart. I mean, well, Miss Marilyn posted the chart, and shout out to her. She always got a chart, and she's taking notes. I'm saying you gotta look at this like a real job. Like I told y'all this last week. I say this all the time. Look at it like a real job. You got responsibilities too. There are things that we expect of you too. And if you see all of the money that we're making every week, then you would really lock in. You would take it more seriously. You know what I'm saying? And start taking notes. Start taking notes. Start actually making time for these meetings. I could look. There's a playoff game on right now, and I'm in all types of stuff. I got all types of stuff going on, but I'm here doing this with you all. I know what I'm gonna do. All of the information is in my head. You know what I mean? I live and breathe these charts, so I don't need this meeting. And we don't sell anything on these meetings. We literally give free game and value and recap last week on these meetings. This is what we do. So it's like I'm here for that purpose only. I'm here to help you all. So this is the time where you should be taking notes and making sure that you have this information. So when the weeks start, now listen now. So now we're in the game now. And now everybody want to ask questions about the playbook. When you had me on here going through it on Sunday in our free time, and most of you probably outside enjoying the weather, just checking a box on here, just listening or not listening at all, and not really following along. So, and then we'll know this on Monday by when the week start by the questions that you ask now. Yeah, let's be clear though. We got the biggest jobs report of the year this Friday. And so it's a lot of stuff going on this week. We got PCE data this week. We got GDP, and y'all worried about earnings though. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of people talking about earnings. Like, and again, like no disrespect to nobody, man, but look, I don't like y'all. Look, we getting in trades in this community that are generating we turning regular contracts into $1,000 contracts like almost every trade or every other trade. So it's like earnings. You know, you don't really, it's like the earnings is okay. Like I said, the only way you get me to talk about earnings is, you know, like I said, I feel comfortable talking about earnings when I know that you guys are making enough money where if you took an earnings trade, it would not break the bank. It would not be, you know, you burning down or blowing your brokerage account. You know, it should be house money only if you're doing those types of things. But again, we do have a big portion of the S&P 500 reporting earnings this week. Yeah, that is very important, you know, because it'll kind of it'll influence the direction of the market. Of course, we got some very influential stocks reporting this week, so they will dictate the direction of the market. But that doesn't mean that you know the earnings isn't really that important. The earnings aren't really that important. It's the move after the earnings that's important. You know, how the stock or how the market behaves. But like I said, but when we don't got any Fed speakers this week because of course it's a blackout week because we got FOMC next week. We got a lot of stuff at 2 weeks. We got FOMC coming up, but no, it's next week. And but we got a lot happening. We got a lot of stuff going on. So it's a lot to focus on. And that's just the last thing that I feel like everybody should really be worried about because, and you know, it's just a lot. It's a lot to take in, but these are the times, like I said, if you got real questions regarding the actual trade that we're in, I mean, like I said, what y'all did on Thursday was great. I think it was Wednesday or Thursday. That was great. It was pretty good how the team got together and really and handle that. Like I said, it's a lot of times where a lot of questions can be answered by just going in the chat with the team and they'll kind of help everybody else unpack what's actually going on and a whole lot more people make a lot more money. So let's just keep that going. But like I said, we're gonna have a good week this week. It's gonna be a busy week with everything going on and with all of this economic data happening. So I just want to there's no way that we know what's going to happen in the market before it happened, you know? So like KK said earlier, we've been following the price action and that's what we're going to continue to do. But just like if you with us, we're going to make some money this week, but just take this seriously, take it as a job. And I'm going to tell all of the new traders before we move on, what I would do, because again, I post a lot of charts. Sometimes I post charts as trade ideas and we'll talk about some trade ideas during this meeting. I tell any new trader before you start going off and trying to figure out those charts and trade the chart alerts and stuff like that on your own, successfully take 10 of my call outs where you really substantially understood what you were doing and actually made that money. I tell y'all to do that for a reason. I've been doing this for a while, and everything I do has a purpose. There's a method to my madness, right? So if I'm telling you to take 10 of my trades successfully before moving on to those chart alerts and stuff like that, it's because it's levels to it. And it's going to do something to your trading psychology that's very important. It's very critical to you being a successful trader. So see if you can follow the process. If you got the discipline to just stick to just taking 10 trades successfully and post those contracts and the options wins. You know what I mean? If you can successfully do that, you know, then it's going to do a number of things. It's going to do some things for your confidence, number one. It's going to show that you actually know how to follow a process. So it's going to build your confidence. It's going to show me that that you can actually follow a process. And then you can move on to the chart alerts. And then I may also look on to you for more risky trades. There's some risky trades that you guys never see. Because I'm like, well, if you can't even get out of a regular trade, you can't even handle a regular meta trade. Now I know meta is very volatile, but if you can't handle meta, then you can't handle none of the other risky trades that I'll be handling. So I'm watching you. I don't, and that'll show me who you are as a trader too. So just try that out. Not only are you going to get discipline and get some confidence as a trader, but you're going to also make a lot of money too. So see if you can do that, stick to that. And that's all I have to say about that. It's going to move on to, I kind of went into economic data a little bit, but I'm going to kind of go into it really quickly again. So like I said, we got a blackout period because we got FOMC next week. But on Tuesday, we got the house price index. We got JOLTS data. On Tuesday, we got consumer confidence Tuesday. We got the ADP non-farm payrolls on Wednesday. We got GDP Wednesday. employment cost index. We got PCE data on Wednesday. We got jobless claims. So that threw me off for a second, having PCE data on Wednesday. They moved PCE data to Wednesday. Yeah, it just threw me off. We got ISM manufacturing PMI Thursday, but then we got the biggest jobs report of the year on Friday. So we have a stacked week, and I got to look deeper into this whole PCE data thing. That just threw me off. It threw me off. GDP and PCE data the same day. I guess they just trying to get this month over with. They're trying to get it all over with. I gotta yeah, the PCE data is more important than GDP, but just gotta still look into that though. But yeah, we got a lot of economic data. That's a lot of data, and then we got Trump. So it's just a lot to deal with this upcoming week. And the markets are really fickle around when we get close to a Fed decision, right? So just be mindful of that too. And we don't know what's going to happen. It's a lot of predictions and stuff like that. We don't know what's going to happen, but just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. A lot of these charts look similar, man. A lot of these charts look similar heading into this upcoming week. I mean, the way the markets kind of broke out and took off, but I'm just going to go over a few charts that I'm watching this week. Stack. All right, so this Lockheed Martin chart. I'm gonna show you the weekly first, though. We got a bullish engulfing on the weekly, and it finished just at this level here. So just above this level here. The chart looks really good. Volume is intensifying. We got time frame continuity, full time frame continuity on this Lockheed Martin chart. Looks great. Looks great. So let me go back to the daily. Let's see. Y'all can see my screen, right? It looked like it wants that 200 EMA. So what I'm looking at here, if we're able to clear that 478.46, then we're looking for a move up to 480. That's the 200 EMA over that level, meaning over 480. I'm looking for a move back up to 487.45 if we're able to get back over if we're able to reclaim that 200 EMA. Now, if we were to lose that 467.90, then we can make a move back down to 461.22 and then back down to 460.62 at the 50 EMA, and then possibly back down to 458.44. So yeah, keep Lockheed Martin on watch. Y'all saw I don't know if we talked about it last week, but they had a pretty good earnings and raised guidance. It was pretty good situation. This now another chart looks great here. I'm gonna go to the weekly first. A lot of old levels on here because somebody on Thread said, "How did you know about ServiceNow, man? We've been trading ServiceNow for a while. You new to this, you true to this." So yeah, that's how I know about it. That's how I know about it. We've been trading this one for a while. Plus, I used to use this application. Used to use ServiceNow. So ticketing software, and it got a whole lot of other features in it. But yeah, here's the weekly chart, man. It looks great. We got a what is that? A 312 a 313 actually, a 313 on this one with a bullish engulfing. Looks great, man. Look like VWAP is not VWAP. We got the MACD line look like it wants to cross the signal line. We haven't gotten there yet. This is a weekly, so this is where a pivot has taken place. We got to break out with a candle confirmation on the weekly. Looks amazing, right? Looks amazing. Let me just look at this on the monthly because we are close approaching the end of the month. Yeah, it looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Looks good. Go back down to the daily. So you see, I like when prices stacked over all of these EMAs like that. We got the 9 EMA, the 50, and the 200 EMA prices stacked over them. And we finished with a doji on Friday. After that surge that we had on Thursday, reclaiming 900. So it looked like, I mean, it has some ways to go, but let's just talk about it for a second. If we're able to clear that 960, at 960, I'm looking for a move to 972.33. And then from 972.33, we got 980 and then 991.55. I mean, it clearly wants 1,000 and wants to get back over 1,000. So we just got to follow the price action up there. If we were to lose that 929.17, look for a move back down to 919.61 and then then 894.56. So 919.61, then 894.56. But 900 is a psychological level. They could hold it at 900 if it doesn't. I mean, if it was to break down, but finishing with a doji and it's still bullish with a bullish continuation. Looks good. So keep service now on watch. Service now on watch. All right, let me scroll there. So Domino's report earnings tomorrow morning pre-market, and look how it finished heading into this print. Look how it finished. They held it inside on a daily, but it bounced off the 9 EMA, finished with a hammer. And let me zoom out to the weekly for a second on this chart, man. Just looking at some things here. Just looking at some things. That's all. I should have used another. Yeah, use that instead. It's a weekly chart. I just wanted to see how the weekly chart looked. I mean, it's always patterns within patterns, right? Patterns within patterns within patterns. Let me see how we look at this a little. Hopefully it's telling us something else. I don't know what's going to happen with this stock. Man, last quarter, the stock was falling. Hold on 1 second. It's a monthly chart right here. So just it's a lot of, you can see patterns within patterns. You got all types of patterns here. But yeah, I just wanted to show y'all what the chart was looking like before I kind of went into any more detail on this one here. Green chart. So just walk it up a little bit. So what I'm thinking possibly for this one, again, everything is driven, it's earnings driven. It'll be based off of what the print does, obviously. But just if I was just trading the chart alone, what would I do with this chart right here? What would I do with it? I was just trading it alone. Now, when a candle finish, is that inside or is that, let me see, is that inside? It looks like it is. Yeah, it's inside. It's inside. So it is inside still. So, inside is neutralizing. And so it's just sitting here. But there was a lot of volume that came in here on Friday, sending it in here. So I don't know what they're going to do this for this print. I just remember last quarter, I was in Puerto Rico last quarter. And when the stock fell off a cliff after the print, right? And then Trump came out and said something, and the whole market just ran and it just went the other way. So, yeah, it was in February that happened. It's last print. But so let's see what this print does, what this one does, man. But what I will say is if you're looking to just trade, I honestly, I'm not going to just give you regular levels on this because tomorrow morning it will, the chart is it's gonna move based off of what the print is, based off what the print is on this one. But what I think is I'm just thinking that if there is a positive print with a raise and guidance or something like that, then we looking north of 500, so over 502. And if we were to, if for any reason that there's they guide down or missing guide down, something like that, then we probably drop under four, probably back down. Damn. Yeah, I think this thing can make if it first move would be 462, 462. I think really the 450 would probably be the first target, or four like 50 something. I think it'll lose that 50 EMA for sure. And yeah, that would be, yeah. So I'm saying over 510 or below 460. So somewhere in that range or whatever. So just that's where I'll go with this. That's all I can say as far as it right now. And that's why I drew the range. The first thing I drew was this range here. See where it was, but it's a little above the middle range right now. But we'll see what we get if it was to move and break out. But yeah, those are the ranges that I'm looking at right now in terms of what it can do. I just say keep it on watch because there will be something, there will be a move. Now it could trade in the middle. I mean, stocks trade in the middle, but yeah, I think it'll be a big move though. I don't think this is gonna trade in the middle tomorrow. I think it'll be a huge move on Domino's Pizza. So yeah, keep it on watch. We move on. Just a second. QQQ. Here's QQQ daily chart, man. I love the way this chart. I like the move that the stock made over the last few days. It was a pretty good move after the breakout and retest, and we got a continuation just under the 50 EMA. On the volume was slightly low, but it held up. But it's just under that 50 EMA. We need to clear that 50 for a continuation. We clear that 50, we can make a nice move. But if not, then it's going to reject and come down. You can play this a few ways. So what I would do is I would just be looking for a move. So yeah, I would be looking for a move over 473.55. Over that, then first target would be 475.46, then 478.76, and then 480.47. Then we got the 200 EMA up there at 481.25. I mean, we already in a breakout and we got a continuation. And the candle closed with most of its almost at the highs. So I mean, it looks pretty good, but it all depends on what we got a lot of data, stuff like that, and earnings play a big part in this because a substantial portion of the S&P 500 reports this week, and a huge portion of QQQ reports this week. So the top stocks in QQQ, minus Nvidia, Tesla and Netflix report this week. So they all, this is very important. So they will dictate the price of this ETF. So just keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. But yeah, but if we were to lose that 465.39, look for a move back down to 463 and then possibly back down. I'll say 463, 460, then 455. And then we could possibly go lower than that. So keep those levels on watch. Let's look at the weekly chart though. Ooh, nice bullish engulfing here on the weekly. Looking for a continuation here, man. Look, so can Microsoft do it? Can Microsoft lead QQQ back above its 200-day EMA? Can it reclaim that 50 and then lead us back over the 200-day EMA? Is that what Microsoft is going to do? Is that what's going to happen? Because Microsoft will be the key to what happens in this market, so just keep that in mind. Obviously first up. So we'll see if Microsoft is capable of making these types of moves happen. Now, y'all know how the market is. Y'all know how this market is. And we basically have to base everything off of what the price does, and again, it's based off of guidance. So, we'll see what Microsoft says, what what the guide is. And the reason it's so important is because they'll give us a key into the economy, just like basically just the economy and just the state of the economy going forward. And so that's going to be important. That's going to be a very important thing. I mean, Meta and Microsoft report the same day, and which is very interesting to me as well, because I don't recall the last time. Well, it was one time that, I can recall that happening, but typically that doesn't happen. And this is also typically, yeah, they move because at Meta was supposed to, at one point Meta was reporting a week later, right? And they changed that up a few times. But yeah, but it's a lot going on with this, man. It's a lot going on. We just got to be careful and let's see what the price action gives us as far as this overall market. I have no take on how any of them are going to do for earnings. I just know that they're going to dictate the market, whatever happens. So just keep it on watch. And again, QQQ is going to be a key. So I think we should keep an eye on that, obviously. Speaking of Meta, let's look at the chart. Let's look at the chart. I mean, Meta still looks this formation. Let me get this out of here. More of this broadening formation that's happening here for Meta. So people would do that. We can do this in a number of ways, right? I'm just starting from the top, but I could have, just cut this out here. Broadening formation, you can patterns are patterns, but then you got formations that happen too, right? So a few ways I could have done that, right? But that makes more sense, right? I mean, looking at where the touches are and what's happening. But yeah, that's where Meta is right now. This is the daily chart. Let's look at the weekly. Here's the weekly right here, and here is the month, right? So got most of those gains. I mean, just looking at the chart alone, Meta finished with a lot of bullish volume. So with a hammer also, barely, but nice hammer here on Meta. So just looking at trade now, what Meta could possibly do is a lot. Again, I'm glad that because one thing that Meta typically does, they typically put Meta earnings on the day of the Fed decision, and that didn't happen this time. So, and typically happens for some reason it falls on that day a lot, and didn't happen this time. But so we won't have that. But it's a lot of economic data, as you guys can see, for Wednesday, even Thursday, from what we talked about a little while ago. Let me just get some levels here. So I just trying to mark this chart up a little bit. I cleaned this chart up last week because I had levels everywhere. Levels everywhere. All right. So yeah, like I said, finished with a hammer on increasing volume. And we got green oscillator bar, MACD crossing above the signal line. Looks pretty good. So if we're able to clear 550, I'm looking for a move back up to 555.85. And then from 555.85 up to 570 pretty much, because that's a 200 EMA up there. It'll clear. We get over 555.85, then I'm looking for a move up to 570 from there. If we lose that 536.25, look for a move. We got a gap fill here at 533.15. a bullish gap fill, and then look for a move back down to 531.39 if we were to lose that, and then possibly down to 525.12. Just let us just levels to trade Meta. Just but obviously Meta's one of those stocks. It's a stock that you could get a pump hitting an earnings run up pump, or they could sell it off, because typically it already happened last week. So maybe, so I guess it won't have it happen now. Typically something happens where they already dragged the stock down pretty significantly though, because of the lawsuit stuff, and it started pumping after that. So we're still in this range, and I'm just giving you some levels to trade it in the meantime, right? So obviously there are plenty more levels to go. And so just keep those levels on watch and trade it accordingly. I have no opinion on the earnings. Uh, I feel like Microsoft. Hold on, let's see this chart. To make some sense of this right now. I mean, we reclaimed the 50. I mean, the volume is still green, still bullish. I mean, we had a nice pump over the last few days. I mean, it's the same thing that happened with QQQ and SPY. I mean, so we reclaimed the 50 though. That's important. Reclaim that 50, and it looked like it wants that 200-day EMA from what I'm seeing now, but it's not going to just go straight there. But earnings could send it there, right? If they have a positive print. Let me just put some more levels in here. I just don't Microsoft is one of them stocks where I'll say this to you, that if you trade it for earnings, you'll be sorry. Just wait till the day after earnings. You'll be sorry. That's all I can say to you. That's all I can say. So stay away from it for earnings. Trade it the day after earnings or before earnings. But if you trade it for earnings, you'll be sorry. Calls over 392.16 for a move back to 396.71 and 401.51. Puts under 384.60 for a move back down to 380.51 and 378.76, possibly lower. A lot of these stocks have the same pattern, right? You notice most of the stocks that we hit got this almost, I wouldn't call it a falling wedge, but they got this downtrend, this downward trending channel or something like that, right? With these peaks, with these wicks at the bottom here. Few of them. Few of them. Few stocks with the same pattern. but they all look like SPY QQQ. So see, just kind of just following it along. So, but a lot of these stocks are in pivot mode. You know, I like to catch stocks at pivots, right? But it could, the reason I drew this, the line here, the cap to show you here is because look, it can do, that's why we always follow the price action. We can want the stocks to do anything we want them to do, right? But when you follow the price action, you let the price confirm what you're going to do. So I'm not making no move unless the price confirms that I should make that move. And that's because stocks get rejected and they come back down. That happens a lot. So in order for me to really consider this a pivot and something substantial, I'm gonna need a breakout. I'm gonna need a breakout with volume to convince me that this is real, you know. And when that happens, then we get a huge move on this stock. So Oracle, just want y'all to keep this one on watch because it's somewhere. If it breaks out, it's gonna go. And, you know, I like to be in moves when they break out. I like to catch them after they break out, when they first breaking out of a range or just, you know, at those key levels or key situations in the chart, in the structure, right? So calls over 139 for a move, I would say calls over 139, 43 for a move back up to 145.30. I know that's a nice little chart. That's a nice target. If we get back, we clear that 50 EMA, then look for a move back up over to 150 and then 152.16, the 200-day EMA. If we were to lose 136.76, look for a move back down to 134.23, then 133, and then 130. So that's what we have there for that. And yeah.
Hey, bro, I got a question. So the breakout that you're talking about, you want to break out and a close. We talking on a daily time frame, right?
See, well, you know, well, if that happens, yeah, so that would be, yeah, but if like, so let's say yeah,
But
so
say it break out like during the day on the hourly and
so
get a close over a specific level.
we ain't even touched the hourly. We talking about just the daily right now. So of course, like if we get a breakout on the daily, then we gonna go look for a setup on the hourly because we trading intraday. But let's say most of the time, if we looking for a swing trade or like right now, it's Sunday, so we looking for trades for maybe next week, you know, for Monday or something like that. So in that regard, what we looking for setups right now and that can yield us bigger moves. So like on a daily, since so it's a good question because on the daily, each candle represents one day of price action. So it's going to yield us a bigger move, a bigger situation when you're looking at the structural setup on it. So we get a breakout, like, all right, and I'm gonna answer your question, but this part of it. So we get a breakout, you know what I'm saying? And I'm talking about these key EMAs right here now. You know what I mean? These are gonna be are they gonna be we know that price is gonna it's looking for those it's looking for different places, right? So and if I'm mentioning those targets, not those as targets, but I'm saying I'm mentioning those moving averages and stuff like that, and we just looking at this structural setup on this, how pretty much has done this the whole time. I can never find it when I'm looking for it. I want to say and it's all good. I'll just use something. It's not gonna work, but it'll work.
You didn't go down far enough. The price action was on the other one.
Price action?
Is that what you're looking for? Go to the one below that. No, the whole section below that. Go down to the last section, top one.
No, I wasn't. No, I wasn't looking for a price range. I was just looking for. I just needed an arrow so I could.
I'm sorry.
Needed an arrow so I could. You know, I just wanted to draw arrows. Like, but you know, I can't. I'll figure it out. But it's not that important. I wanted to do like use the one where it connect. You know, just connect the arrows without the numbers on there, but just to show them that range. But yeah, so if we break out of this range, then yeah, on a daily, let's just say, okay, so just to directly answer your question, if we get a breakout over this range, right, and it closes over here, and let's say we discovered that today, let's say today is Monday and the market just closed, and we just discovered that it closed over this breakout with on increasing volume and stuff like that. then it's gonna be on heavy watch for the next trading day. So then, you know, when the market open, we're gonna go to a lower time frame to look for a setup, because I don't care what this chart did, it could be done. And it may not be, you know, just because a move happened. I mean, just because we got a setup, now we're looking for fuel. You know, we got the rocket, but now we need some fuel to move it. And the volume is going to do that. So now we're going to look for a setup. We're going to look for a setup on a lower time frame, an intraday setup, because we intraday traders. So yeah. So, you know, so it's first. So I'm always looking for a setup on the higher time frame first. Now, if the market is open and we're looking for setups while the market is open, then that's something different. But I'm saying right now, it's Sunday. We looking for stocks that can yield us a big move. I'm never looking for those small moves. I'm always looking for a bigger move, unless there's a catalyst or something. I'm like, okay, cool. Or sometimes it may be a smaller move because we just looking for a continuation from a move that already happened. You know what I'm saying? Or it already cleared one level. It's halfway through the move. Now we got another level before we get to our final target or something like that. So yeah, I'm gonna use the daily first to find my setups, or if I'm swinging, and you know, like if the market is closed and I'm looking for the next day, so I'm looking at the daily. If I'm closer to the end of the week or the week is about to start, I'm gonna look at the weekly too. So that's why I'm always, you know, switching between those two when we're foxing. But intraday is for intraday. I'm never looking at the hourly, you know, after the market close. I'm looking at the daily at that point, because I'm looking for a setup for the next day. The hourly not gonna give me that. You know, sometimes it can give you a level of confluence, but you should be looking at the daily at that point. So yeah, hopefully that answered your question. It was kind of I know, a convoluted response, but I just wanted to kind of make sure I covered all bases of the question and not really give a vague answer to you. So
Yeah, you good. Appreciate that.
yeah, no problem, no problem, no problem. Yeah, look, so I know we're at 3 o'clock now. And I'm gonna end it out here. But we got a big week. Let's just be ready for this week, man. And again, congrats, shout outs to all of y'all for the teamwork, and let's make this a great week. Cheers.